When you hit the main stage, you were the man in the arena. You didn't take criticism from people in the fucking cheap seats.
It doesn't matter the game, age 5, age 3, the dude is unreal.
Annihilated absolutely everyone.
I don't think I've seen him play a bad game with Halo.
9 times out of 10, the decision he makes is the right one.
He knows what he's going to do 5, 6 steps ahead.
He's insane mechanically.
He very well might be a robot.
The greatest Halo player of all time.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Brandon Pettis, aka Louis V Titan, and you just heard it. This list is built to determine who is the best of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at number 7. Today is going to be the reveal, and today we have a little bit of a mix-up in our panel. Let's go ahead and introduce these guys. We got, of course, Alex Irwin, Nighty Night, but today joining us is Tony Rose, aka Why Not Be Casting. Tony, go ahead and give him some love, baby.
Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting, and I'm kind of a freaking big deal. If you don't know, now you know.
Absolutely, this man is indeed a big deal. But also, speaking of a big deal, we have Nighty Night with us. Nighty, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, and I'm ready for the pain. Ready for this reveal. It's going to be an upset, I can already tell.
Yep, I hear the connotation in your voice. You think today is gonna upset you just a little bit. Why do you think that is? Come on, give us give us a little more.
My heroes. These guys are the greatest of greats. We got Ogre 11. We got Walshy at 8, which I can't even get over yesterday's, and now we're gonna be hit with another one. I'm ready for it. Bring it on.
I feel you. Tony, any predictions, man? I know we got number 10, 9, 8 yesterday. We're at number 7. What do you think is going to happen, man?
Well, first of all, the fact that you mentioned that how upset you are and didn't mention T Squared being number 17 is making me mad. That's upsetting me.
No, that's about right.
I'll deal with you afterwards because you know I was gonna compliment you because the encyclopedia that you've been has been amazing on these broadcasts. I've been watching it; it's been incredible. I was gonna compliment you, but now you're pissing me off. My prediction to answer, I'm gonna go Royal 2. I feel like Royal 2 is coming up next year. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Royal 2 fits perfectly. Roy could fit perfectly. Snakebite could fit perfectly. I think those 3 really fit right here. I would have had Walshy above all 3 of them, but hey, it is what it is. I think that's a good prediction. Royal 2 could definitely be at number 7. Did you say T Squared is at 17, though? I thought he was like 13.
No. He should have been. T Squared was number 17. Number 13 was
APG.
APG. APG was number 13.
Okay, 17 is a little disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie.
But I happen to see APG up there because, like, there's few players in our history. I'm sure, Knight, you can probably attest to this, that have been like that entry frag player, but have also shined. Like, when I think of like Bound, I think of that entry frag player. When I think of APG, that entry frag player that, like, you know, I'm gonna hit my shots, I'm gonna be leading the charge. Come behind me and watch this. I'm gonna run through this brick wall. So I'm really glad APG got the shine he deserves.
Yeah, and he's so consistent too. Like, you look at his entire career, and it's like he's never been away from the top. He's always that guy that would escalate a team towards being able to compete. Like, whether they won or not, whether they were a winning roster, it didn't matter because APG would make them just that much better to be able to hang with the big boys.
Now, I know you were upset about Walshy. I mean, when you think of Royal 2, when you think of Roy, when you think of these players that might be ahead of them, I think of a longevity. And Walshy dominated Halo 2, and he was a standout in Halo 3 as well. He was almost just as dominant. Yep. But I mean, Royal 2 goes back since Halo 3.
Yes.
And Reach, and you know, going on and on as well. 8 seconds left, so I'm gonna stop talking because I'm so excited. Oh my god.
Here it goes. Yeah, Royal 2, I competed against him at MLG in the AM bracket, and that kid just blew me away with his ability to snipe. His pure aim is incredible. What is it gonna be?
Yeah,
I'm shaking.
I've paused it because I think we're missing a little bit of audio here, but nevertheless, we'll get the reaction.
Hey! Let's go.
Good old Roy falling at number 7.
It's right on the money for me. It's right on the money. Is he greater than Walshy? Meh. But he needs to be right there.
I feel you, indeed. What we're gonna do?
These guys.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pause it real quick. Figure out why we're not getting audio through here. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and break down some of these statistics here, if you can, for me, guys. We got Halo 4 and Halo 2 anniversary top 3 finishes, likely candidates right here. And we now know it's Roy. So, guys, please break some of this down for me.
Yeah, Roy separated from Lunchbox for a little bit. He was playing about 4 or 5 events more than Lunchbox. Lunchbox quit for a little bit. So Roy has that edge over his brother, but he only got 1 win. He only got 1 LAN win over his brother. So that's what puts Roy above him on the list, just by a hair. And what seems to fit right in between them is Walshy, but I think Roy and Lunchbox deserve to be pretty much next to each other on the list. To me, Lunchbox was the greater player. I would have had him over Roy, but either way, both of the guys are twins. So, I mean, you can't get closer in greatness. Their greatness is just together, combined. They're twins just like the Ogres, so it's just a big deal that the Brown twins are as close to the top as possible. So number 7 for Roy, I think, is very appropriate. Lethal, obviously, is going to be disrupting that, pushing Roy down. He's one of the newer guys to come into the scene. Obviously, these are all old heads. Ogre 2, Snipe Down, Pistola, these guys have been competing forever. Snakebite has been competing longer than Lethal at a higher level than Lethal. So, that's what's pushing these greats down, because these guys have had longevity. Lethal, some people say, could be number 1. So that's why Roy's in this comfortable spot. He wasn't winning as much as he possibly could towards the end of Halo 5, but he came back for MCC and was dominant in MCC. He won the big invitational in Austin, Texas, the South by Southwest event. And Tony, I'm sure you remember that. He was going off.
When Halo 3 was the first game that I've ever owned. I used to play Halo 2 at a friend's house, but Halo 3 was the first game I ever owned, and I used to play on 2 sensitivity. I'm not gonna lie. So there wasn't many pros out there that were playing on a low sensitivity, and then somebody came out and said, "Yo, hold on, there's this dude named Roy. Yo, he plays on a low sense, and he's considered one of the best shots in the game." And once I heard that, I immediately became an Instinct fan, because they were kind of the underdogs during that straight ripping dynasty, during that final boss dynasty. But Instinct was always there. So you know me, Knight. I love rooting for an underdog. And then the fact that Roy played on a low sensitivity and he was still able to be successful, I immediately became an Instinct fan. Plus that emblem was absolutely insane. Let's be honest. That logo was absolutely insane. So Roy definitely has a special place in my heart personally. And then also we talk about longevity. You could probably attest to the fact that I remember from Halo 3, but I believe he was competing in Halo 2. We obviously remember him, and we remember him going to Halo Reach. And as you said, even in Halo 5, alongside Tapping Buttons and his brother and Snipe Down, they were going insane. So longevity, this man has been dominant. He's been around, and you cannot tell the story of Halo without mentioning Roy, our boy.
That was an interesting stat line right there.
If I can, just jump right in. We do have the audio fixed now, so if we want, we can react to this video. We ready?
Let's get it.
Yes, these videos have been insane.
Muggsy, man. God. This guy.
And Hastings, too.
All out. Got a hell of a content team. Turn it up a little bit here.
I have goosebumps.
Roy. The BR. The 4-shot king.
The most consistent BR across probably all of the games. It's got to be Roy.
I think Roy had the best BR of all time.
Roy is most known for his BR.
There's no one better. You don't need rockets. You don't need a sniper if you're Roy. All you need is 4 shots.
One shot, lobby. I got him. No man.
4 shot.
Oh my god.
God.
I'm going back open side, waiting for the 2 guys, 3 guys coming
Monster,
over, finishing
dude.
off my triple kill. Sorry, Rick. Thank you.
Jeez.
Roy would hit 4 shots religiously. If you met him in pit, Rocket Hallway, just expect 1, 2, 3, shoot, and you're gut. And so if you miss 1 bullet, you're punished.
I can confidently say he had the best BR shot in Halo 3. Literally floored me every single time. It wasn't like metaphorically, like literally like 4 shots, I was dead every time. And I was just like, is anyone seeing this?
Don't get in front of Roy. He's going to 4-shot you every time. Roy is a very passionate player.
He's gonna 4-shot you every time.
When you think of like warriors in wartime, he's that guy. He's like Troy running out. I died. I got
We Maniac, another one right in front. That's going to be a
Roy
double
from
kill
Troy.
there.
4-shot APG. God, look at that.
Roy with a full. Roy with a full. We're looking for
No way. Hey, you should not live through that, man.
Roy's machine-like accuracy with the
His shot got better the weaker he was.
making
Right.
him one of the most feared
He had a
players
buff.
in the league and earning him a fitting nickname.
I think they started this thing where like, all right, I'm a machine or I'm a robot. I do not miss. And then Roy turned his gamer tag into Roy Borg. He very well might be a robot, but no, I didn't do any of those tests, so I can't say 100% that he's human.
What do you got?
His shot.
Yo, that's such a good
literally,
sign. Oh my God.
robotic. The highest level, like you can't miss. Like you just can't. And he just never did.
He was so consistent. At that point, people were like arguing like who's the best player in the game, and he was always right there. Like, is he the best? He might be the best. Is he the best? He might be the best.
One of the most solid, from top to bottom, Halo players that have ever played the game.
His shot was insane. He didn't miss snipe shots. You thought his DMR was good. His sniper was insane.
Let's go, dude. Boom, baby.
Roy wants to do something as well.
Oh, that was the shot right there. That was such a big shot.
To go. Roy in a 1v1 with Tuscan. How many times have we seen it over the years? Roy wins a 1v1
2v2 at DreamHack.
It wasn't even
I
like
wanted
crazy
to avoid
flashy. Like it was just
anything Roy was on.
fundamentals
This
and
was mostly
consistency.
instinct. I wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
avoid that team probably more than anything.
Came to the conclusion,
The
you want
God
to play
Squad.
against these guys or with them? That was an obvious answer.
They were so good and he's so consistent, and you always knew like it was going to be probably the toughest match that you'd ever come up against.
And we went like what 42-1 in 2 tournaments in a row, which has never been done before that or after that. It's unheard of. That's why we got called the God Squad.
42-1.
While Roy is
Yo.
often remembered
2
for his
and
incredible
1,
skill in the game, it was his positive attitude and integrity that left a lasting impression on teammates and opponents alike.
Dude, he was so cool, man.
He's the guy, he was going to walk up, he's going to shake your hand, look you in the eyes, and just introduce himself.
Roy's one of the
Yeah,
nicest guys.
he did that so
As a
much.
caster, I try to remain unbiased, but I can be biased in many times cheering for Roy. It's hard not to root for the guy.
Roy will be remembered for obviously his great shot, but what I think he should be remembered for is his passion, how much his
There it
emotions
is.
fueled him
Beating
in
simple.
game. His legacy is cemented, and he will be remembered for years and years and years.
Roy's our boy. Roy's our boy. Yeah, man, he deserves it. He's got to be at the top. When you talk about the greats, I have him over Snakebite. I have him over Royal too. I don't think they've quite earned to be above him yet. With his legendary career, I mean, look at his first event on the scene. He got 4th. That was his first major, or his first LAN period, and he placed 4th. I mean, come on. His brother was in the Pro FFA that event. I mean, they both dominated that first LAN in Charlotte. Just absolutely incredible. There's not much more that can be said for Roy, honestly, though. The video did an incredible job. Hats off once again to Muggsy and Hastings. I think they are the best dynamic duo we could possibly have when it comes to Halo. Nobody's more passionate about it and wants to present it in a more beautiful way. That was extraordinary.
Yeah, absolutely. That was absolutely extraordinary. My bad, Tony. Real quick, though, We did have a little bit of delay on the video, but what that means is we get a good glimpse of what the community thinks of this pick of Roy at number 7. Tony, let's hear your thoughts.
I think I want to be upset about it, but I also want to see the rest of the list. I want to be upset because I feel like he should be higher. But I think no matter what, he's in the top 10, and that video was just so amazing. But the video makes me think that why is he in the top 5? Like, why should he be a few spots over? But either way, he's in the top 10, and I'm excited about it. And the video was just amazing. I still have goosebumps right now. I'm happy with it, I guess.
Definitely good stuff all around. Shout out to Hastings and Muggsy, Matt Klein and Tashi, all working together to put this on and make some amazing content. And most of all, I believe Div, right? Did we recognize Div's voice a little bit in there? I think Div was doing a couple of those voiceovers.
Was that Div?
I think I heard him at one point. And I see someone here asking who is at 201. I already passed it. But yeah, I believe that was Div. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know who the voiceover is.
Barcode asked that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a big one. Maybe he wants to be there, though. He's like, hey, I want to do the voiceover.
When I think of, where we're going to rank these players, I think dominance and I think longevity. I really think longevity counts. And when you think of a player that has gotten wins in every single Halo, from Halo 3 to Halo Reach to 4 to H2A to 5, we've seen so many players be dominant in one game, and we've seen them fall off on the next. And Roy was not one of those players. He just simply wasn't. And again, event wins in every single game going back since Halo 3, and then even going back and doing Halo 3 again, because I think he came back a little bit for the second life of Halo 3.
Yes. Yes. And he was just as dominant, just as scary. The Sentinels roster couldn't hang. And he just is an unstoppable force. His dominance is, like they said, Pistola was like, he could have been the best of the best. Maybe he is the best of the best. At one point, many people said that, and I think they were correct. I think it was during his run on Instinct in 2010 when he was just really starting to hit his stride. They got Cloudy Cloud and Elamite Warrior, and that team was the first God Squad before we saw him in Reach. And then in Reach again, Roy and Pistola, both of them were so scary. And Roy was that guy you just did not want to meet up with in a one-on-one fight, and did not want to let him have any of the power weapons because the game's over after that. I've matched Roy so many times on land. I've played him at MLGs, and let me tell you, it's one of those things where it's like you don't see him ever because his teammates are everywhere and causing chaos. Meanwhile, Roy is the one that's set up in that position where he's just going to kill everybody. He never puts himself out there where he's going to die an easy death. He is one of the hardest people to kill in the game because he knows where to position himself, and he knows not to challenge. He doesn't put too much pressure on his shot. Yeah, like you said, he gets better. His accuracy increases as he gets weaker. But he doesn't force his shot. He doesn't try to go for those challenges. He doesn't overcommit to battles. He's very, very picky about the fights he takes, and that's a big part of why his consistency is so great with the BR, because he just doesn't challenge. He's very good about maintaining his health and his shields and allowing his team to do most of the work. And Roy just sits back and, just make sure to not make any mistakes. I think if there's one thing to take away from Roy is that he makes less mistakes than most people that you can analyze. I've analyzed a ton of gameplay, and he just doesn't make too many mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I heard Tony mention this earlier, that the video would make you think that this man 100% has to be in the top 5. I just want to point out, from number 8 to number 7, right? Roy landed at number 7, Walshy was number 8. There was a 1-point difference, right? That is, we're talking about splitting hairs here, right? And then I think it's also worth mentioning, right, that from here on out, the points are fairly close. Other than number 1 and number 2, from number 6 to number 3, I mean, there's only 20 points, less than 20 points that separates those guys. And then, Nighty, I want to hear your response to this. Why do you think that there was a point differentiation between Roy and Lunchbox at number 9? Roy had 158 points and Lunchbox at 149.
Like I said, I think that major LAN win was the big one. Once you have that one more LAN win than your brother, that separates y'all. Otherwise, they would have been right together. They had to be. I mean, nobody else would have listed them different. But that's a smart thing to do, because a big LAN win by yourself away from Lunchbox is worth it. I mean, that's a little extra notch on your greatness and should put you ahead. And but I would like to go back and talk about that, because Lunchbox, if we're going to talk individual game, he was a pro FFA player for an entire season of Halo 2. He was in the top 16 of the free-for-all players. Roy was nowhere close. He had to compete in the AM bracket, and he never made it. He never qualified. So Lunchbox individually was better, but in the team game, Roy really stuck out because he got the most power weapons. But that's neither here nor there. I want to make a little comment on our buddy Gary Tools over here, saying that Snipe Down is going to be next, that he is going to be number 6. Man, if Snipe Down is number 6, get me the heck out of here, man. That is just ridiculous. Snipe Down dominated in the MCC most recently. He was killing it with Roy, Lunchbox, and Pistola. And then he was amazing in Halo 5. He was beating the best team to ever play Halo. He was consistently beating them. And, you know, obviously Hook was a big part of that, but and Mikwin and Ola, but Snipe Down was right there. And I saw some of the best Halo I've ever seen from Snipe Down during those times when he was playing against Sentinel's roster. And then, you know, obviously we know his reign, his dominant reign, coming onto the scene, placing 7th, and then 2nd, and then 1st, and then 1st, and then a world championship. Come on. Snipe Down is not 6th. Snipe Down is a 4th or 5th place spot. We got to have Royal 2 and Snakebite coming up next. It's got to be.
Yeah. I agree. I definitely think Royal 2 comes up next. And it's funny because I'm looking at the numbers, and as dominant and as Roy has been for so long, it just tells you where esports is nowadays. You know, throughout his whole career in tournament winnings, Roy got $872,000 throughout all of his tournament winnings. But a lot of them were in the early years in Halo 3 and even Halo Reach, and it tells you where things are right now. Because if I told a current pro that, hey, look, you're gonna have this kind of career going back to April 15, 2007, and you're gonna make $800,000, they'll be like, what? That's crazy. But it tells you where esports is nowadays. You know, we have the ninjas making millions, and we have it's crazy to me that he's only made 872. I feel like every event win from now on, there should be a 1% that goes back to some of the older pros that paved the way to where we are right now.
little inflation. Yeah, you got to put that in there, because I mean, Lethal's taking home millies.
We got Wonder Boy here mentioning that my man is actually pretty good on the soccer field, it sounds like.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't. I've never heard that. But I could totally see it. That man has fiery passion for competing, and it's just scary. You look into his eyes, like he goes from one person to another. Like he is a completely different person when competing. He's the nicest, sweetest dude, just class act all around. He's up there with Walshy when it comes to how he treats his fans and how he interacts. I watched his stream a ton. He's just very engaging in his chats. He always calls me by name, which I always feel like is a big thing. When you remember people's names, it just shows humility. And he's just got this thing about him that is just so genuine. But then he goes onto the field and he turns into a savage. He turns into a monster. You saw it in his eyes in that video. He is a scary man, and I could definitely see it on the soccer field. You don't want to get in front of him. He's just going to juke you and probably make you fall on your face.
That's definitely a great point. I gotta say, Roy is definitely one of the most iconic players in Halo. You heard the chant, right? Roy's our boy. Roy's our boy. Yeah, everybody loved to say that, especially when he was on fire with that battle rifle. I'm sure that, you know, being in that crowd in that time, it's something that's unforgettable, right?
It really is. I gotta make a little jest at Gandhi's talking about the people in the cheap seats. Cheap seats aren't that bad. Come on, man. You know who's in the cheap seats? Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad are in the cheap seats. You're going to listen to mom and dad, aren't you? You're going to listen to them sometimes. And guess who else is in there? Your manager, your coach, your PR team. Also, Michael Jordan. He was probably in the cheap seats at one point. He said, you know what? I don't want to spend any money on some seats. I just want to watch a Kobe game. And was Kobe listening to those cheap seats? Yes, Kobe was absolutely listening to some Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan knows what the hell he's talking about. I don't care if you're in the arena or not. Listen to some cheap seats every now and then.
There's zero chance that Michael Jordan was ever in any cheap sheets. I mean, there's like zero chance. But I know exactly what you mean, and I agree. I will say with this, we're talking with the top 25, we're talking a lot about Roy's past. I want to know about Roy's future. We thought he was retired. I didn't think he was going to come back to Halo 5, and then boom, he comes and he dominates. Are we going to see Roy come back for Halo Infinite? And then what kind of team could you see him on?
Tony, I don't know if you remember this or not, but Roy streamed for a week, or maybe it was like a couple days. He came back for a little bit in this long hiatus that he had, and he streamed for a couple nights. In those couple nights, he gained like 200 or 300 subs, and the donations were off the charts. Actually, I think that might be under. I think he might have hit like 500 subs. I mean, it was just a consistent train of Roy's our boy, because that's what played every time his sub got activated. Roy's our boy. Roy's our boy. The chanting was getting so loud, and it just kept going. Onset was in there. The whole community was in the Twitch chat, and it was just a night to remember because the community got around Roy and was like, please be a part of this. Once again, we need you here. You make it more interesting. You make the fire of competition so much more exciting, and they're pouring their life savings into it, man. We were really trying to bring him back and to see if he could be a full-time streamer, but that's just not what the Twins are about. The Twins are so level-headed, they're so balanced, and I just don't see them coming back, honestly, because they know what it takes to be at the top. And if they're not at the top, they don't want to be a part of it. And it takes everything from you. You've got to sacrifice some things. You got to sacrifice a lot to be at that level. And it's going to be tough for them, honestly. Like, I would love to see him back. And I think there is a chance that they could come back. But I think it's just slim.
I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think Roy and Lunchbox are going to play the game day one. As soon as it comes out, they're going to be playing. And casually, of course,
Sure.
And then over time, maybe not that first event, but maybe that first online event, they're going to watch. And they're going to see a team get third place or second place. And they're like, this team got third place? Like, this team right here? I can come out here and I can come out right now and I can take them on right now in the scrim, and then the competitive fire is gonna ignite within them, and it's gonna be simple. It's gonna be like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's have one last hurrah. And he's gonna grab Lunchbox. He's gonna grab two other gods. Hey, he might even go back to Snipe Down. He might steal Pistola away from Envy. I don't know. Or maybe a Ninja. Maybe they have a fun team. Grab Snipe Down from Apex. Grab Ninja for whatever the heck he's doing, and then and then have a team and go compete and have some fun. I think Roy and Lunchbox come back, and I think they team together, and I don't think they place out of the top 8. And if they take things serious and say they don't get a random content creator, and they take things seriously, I think we see them back in the top 4 and back in dominant fashion. Because again, Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo 4, Halo 5. This is consistency. It's not just one game. It's not just 2 games. It's not just one style. No matter what you put Roy and Lunchbox in, they will find success, and that includes Infinite.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. 90, let's hear it. Let's hear the rebuttal. I see you shaking your head over there.
It's tough. Like, you do see people winning, and you know that you could be in that spot if you just, worked at it. But at the same time, I don't know where they're at in their careers. Like, Lunchbox is an electrician. Roy's got his own thing going on. They're both married. They're both trying to have kids, I'm sure. They've got, mortgages. Like, once you get all of that going, man, it's tough to put as much time as you need to into the game. And, as a fan, I'd love to see it. If they came back with Snipe Down and Pistola, because that team is just beyond scary. I think they could absolutely be on the top. I don't disagree with you on that one, but it's a very slim chance that they're going to come back. They're just never been the content creators or the streamers or those types of guys. They want to make sure that they are completely consumed by the competition and only the competition, and that's what would hold them back, is that they just couldn't dedicate as much time as they needed.
Absolutely. If you can call that being held back, then so be it. I want to see them come back, man. Halo Infinite's around the corner, and just like you're saying, man, they're gonna see the placings and like, man, that's light work. Come on, dude. Come on. Call up the lunchbox. Let's get up in here, man. We gotta stir the pot a little bit. We gotta make sure that the OGs are represented well. I'm here for it, honestly. And speaking of that, man, we have this top 25 list. We got another reveal tomorrow. But man, the names and the icons in this list are, the absolute paramount hype of Halo, right? And I would love to see these guys all like in some sort of a draft tournament or something like that. Man, that would be so hype. It would be amazing content, and I'm sure that the fans would love to see something like that.
I just saw someone pop up in chat, and with my old man eyes, I couldn't really read what their name was, but I thought it said Baby Brown. And he said Roy has a kid.
Baby Brown.
Like, no way, bro.
Well, you know what helps pay for that mortgage? You know what helps pay for that child's education? You're saying there's no way to be a full-time streamer. Granted, Lunchbox electrician, and that makes good money. But let me tell you, where gaming is right now, if Roy and Lunchbox came in and they added this niche of them streaming together as twins, it'd be, first of all, the skill is there. The personality is there. As we said, Roy is one of the nicest people in the world, and Lunchbox is right there with them. And that niche is not being done right now. So, again, you're saying that there's no way he comes back in streams. You know what helps pay for that mortgage? You know what helps pay for that child's education? Making that full-time streaming money, winning a tournament, and making that kind of money. And we're talking about where esports is nowadays is life-changing money.
Yes,
we're not
sir.
talking about playing to 2007 to 2020 with 13 years. You're making $872,000. You can make that right now in 13 days if you really put your mind to it. Again, this is life-changing money, and we're talking about two very competitive players, two very competitive people, not even just in Halo, just in general. I think there's a chance they come back if money talks. If it's right, we'll see them on a Money Tuesday, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that would be great, but I think they'd lose to Bound and Renegade.
Woo! Hot take
get
alert.
dominated.
What title? What title? Come on.
Dominated. They're
Halo
washed.
3?
They're washed.
Halo 3?
You might be helping them come back. Keep calling them washed. They'll come back and shut you up.
No, it'd be Halo Infinite for sure. It's got to be Infinite at this
Very
point.
true, very true.
Yeah, they just don't have as much time into. Halo 3 would be competitive, but Halo 5, no, and then Infinite's gonna put everybody on the same playing field for about a year. Everybody's gonna be learning it and grinding at different levels, and it's gonna be whoever puts the most work in. But Roy and Lunchbox have all of this experience behind them that they're gonna just naturally.
And a gold medal.
Yeah, a gold medal, world championships. They're beasts, man, and they're also so entertaining when you watch them bicker, when you watch them argue and cuss at each other, and it's sibling rivalry. They are just all over each other, like they're talking shit, and then they turn to like their teammates, and they're very nice to their teammates, but when they turn to each other, they're just going at each other's throats. Towie usually gets a lot of that too as the coach. I'm sure he would come back and coach them. That's something that we need right there. That's some serious entertainment. When they were with Evil Geniuses and they had Ninja on the team and they were doing the Pro League matches every week, bring that back. Oh
yeah. Tony,
is he proving my point? I don't understand. I feel like you're proving my point. It sounds like you're proving my point for me. So thank you, Alex.
Are this tiny,
and I think when you factor in, again, we're talking about what Halo Infinite's going to be. Halo Infinite is going to be masquerading as a AAA esport for at least the first 3 months. We're talking the amount of eyes that are going to be on it. We're talking about again, we're talking about life-changing views, life-changing numbers and whatnot.
Let's start a
You're saying it's that big, but the opportunity is literally that big. And who's crazy enough to not jump on it? Again, you said he's an electrician. Let somebody come up to Lunchbox right now and say, hey, I know you love what you do, but you love Halo. And I can promise you that you'll make 3 times the amount of money that you'll make in a year, and right here, just streaming and competing. And who's going to say no to that? Because when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. When the money's coming in, I love what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing is very rewarding. I promise you, you come at me and say I can play video games and make 3 times as much and have fun, create a community, and I'm literally stop talking. Say no more. Sign me up. My controller's right here.
Listen, Tony.
Say less. I'm back.
I love what you're saying, Tony. Honestly, let's speak it into existence. Halo Infinite Esports will be back on top. We're going to be on top of the world, baby, and I cannot wait. Speaking of being back on top of the world, we're going to be back live tomorrow, 10 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. Tomorrow, we're going to get number 6. And, I'm going to stop predicting, right? Because I feel like, from here on out, it's all good. It's all gravy, baby.
No. Brandon?
Let's hear it. Come on.
Who do you have?
I got Royal 2. I've been waiting for him to pop up on the list. He hasn't popped up yet, and I'm not even mad about it. I'm happy. I think Royal 2 is an amazing talent, and then just after him, we're going to see Snakebite.
No, I believe it. And what about you, Mr. Tony?
I mean, I have my notes right in front of me before the show started, and it has Roy and Royal 2. I didn't put anybody else on the list. I put Roy and Royal 2 because that was my prediction coming up next. Roy's off the board. I got Royal 2 coming in next. And that video, let me tell you, these videos, Hastings, Muggsy, Tashi, Dave, everybody that's involved, you guys have been doing great work. This next video is going to be insane.
They're only getting better.
Hyper.
Yep, they're only getting better. And we have Hastings and Muggsy, Matt Klein, Div, Tashi. We have you guys to thank for it. Shout out to Moses for getting these guys a bunch of stats so we can get these guys properly ranked as best as possible. Shout out to the judges. That's a tough job, but you guys, they did the job. They're doing great in my opinion. It was meant to be a conversation starter, and it has done that down to the T. So congratulations to the HCS team. Thank you guys again. Tony, Nighty, thank you guys for joining us on this broadcast. We will be back tomorrow. You guys, please be sure to tune in. And then here in about an hour, maybe a little less, go and drop a like on this video on YouTube. That's right, YouTube, I'm talking to you. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit that like button, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the reveal show of the Halo Top 25. Thank you, and please come back tomorrow.